A detached mind, you're still identified with the mind. You just keep the mind from attaching itself to sensual objects, whether internal or external senses. And internal senses is imaginations of sounds, touch, etc. Or it can be, rumbling of the stomach or whatever. External is obvious, hearing, seeing, tasting. Excuse me. And beyond the mind, there's no identification with the mind. The detached mind, you're identified with it. You just don't let it attach. Beyond the mind, you have transcended the mind and there's no identification. So that mind will become passive by itself and not attach, because there's no inclination to attach to anything, because you are out of it. It's not being fueled with any desire or appetite anymore. So it just calms down and gets pacified. And practicing detachment, you want to train that pacified state. So detachment is a prerequisite to transcending. And if you're detached, you don't generate karma so much, at least, still some, but not the big, brutal, violent stuff. And you become a more peaceful person because you're not involved in the mind drama anymore. You observe it from a free space point, and you could call that void. Who said about void? Was that you? You? Yeah. So the void can be practiced. The mind is like a rock, a lump, and you are entangled in it because of identifications and attachments. Then you can step out of it into an empty space and observe the mind, which is a very good practice. It's objectifying your subject. And this vantage point can fold back on itself, become aware of itself as void. So from the vantage point of void, you observe the phenomenal mind. So in that sense, practicing presence in and as void is helpful. Very helpful, actually. And when you do that, detachment, that witnessing, then you become detached to this lump of mind, and eventually you become able to rest in this void, and then you have transcended the mind. You haven't dissolved it, it's still a contraction. But observing it from the outside helps loosen the contraction. And you can feel it. As soon as you get involved in the mind, you can feel it contract. Yeah? And when you step out of it, the contraction releases. It's very good to observe this. Very good practice.
But how to know that it is not a mind who acts like, the mind
like a witness,
split up in difference?
Because there's no thoughts in this point.
Okay.
There's thoughts here, but here there's no thought. There's just observation.
So that's the void.
Yeah. And there can arise something similar to a thought that, now I'm observing this or that. But then you're already on your way back in. So you give up that thought and you slide back out again. So practicing void is also giving up thinking and observing the mind contraction think. And eventually the mind contraction, once you get established here, will stop automatic thinking and will decontract and begin dissolving. This is very important. I'm glad it came up. I hope you all get it. Yeah?
So this detachment has nothing to do with watching the mind.
Detachment.
Yeah, like
It has.
that's watching the mind, because I do this for a long time.
Yeah, very good. Very good. Detachment is stepping out of this and going here.
And seeing all the thoughts.
And then you observe all the thoughts.
Yes.
That's detachment from the thoughts. Because the thoughts are no longer attached to this. They are attached to each other within this contraction of the mind, the psyche.
So what do you call that space which is just where everything arises?
Turiya. No, this point is Turiya, Turiya Tita. But the point from where all this arises, is that your question?
The empty space which is aware of emotions, mind.
That's Turiya. This is practicing Turiya, which is also known as the fourth state of consciousness: waking, dreaming, dreamless sleep, and Turiya.
And that eventually expands also into the dreamless sleep.
Yes.
But Jan, very probably not with realized, but unrealized, the I-ness is clinging even to the Turiya state, right? The sense of I.
You could say that, yeah.
It's interesting that I would say, at least as long as I know you, it's the first time you're stressing that so much. Normally you rather say you can be enlightened or realized with a very agitated mind, and people with a very calm or detached mind, they don't have to be realized. That's rather something you repeated before.
Well, it's still true. But what I've said today is also true. It's two different things. You can get self-realized and have a messy mind. You're just not identified with it at all. Or you can have a quiet mind and be self-realized, which is nicer, yes.
Over time, abiding in that space that would calm down the mind as well.
Yeah.
Say again, what will come?
Even if you have a busy mind
Yeah.
and you are observing it, over time, abiding in that space would calm down the mind.
Absolutely.
That's my experience.
It's very true.
I used to have a very busy mind.
Yeah, most people do.